Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we're going to take a look at the first information dump that we have on the Warhammer community site for the upcoming Tau Codex, and we're going to look at the Tenet for the Tau Sept. We're going to take a look at the Hammerhead Gunships, which I for some reason keep wanting to say broadside, but I don't know why, because the broadside battlesuit and the Hammerhead Gunship are not remotely the same, but for some reason I keep wanting to say it anyway, and breaches. So there's a nice mix of abilities and stuff like that. Let's just go straight into it. Let's go straight into it with the Tenet for the Tau Sept, because that's the best place to start. So the Tenet is the same as the, I was going to say the thing that lets the other armies do the thing, which is the worst descriptor ever. But you know what, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just going to let you can either decipher it and know immediately what I'm talking about, or just be confused. I'm gonna leave it open. I can't possibly recover from such a ridiculously stupid statement, so I'm not even going to bother trying. Let's just talk about it, shall we? So, Tau Sept, the Tenet for the Tau Sept, coordinated fire arcs. The rigorously drilled fire warriors of Tau Sept utilise overlapping fields of fire to envelop charging enemies in a kill storm of searing pulse energy. When a unit with this Tenet uses therefore the Greater Good ability, or when they fire Overwatch whilst they're within 6 inches of a friendly Tau Sept unit, a 5 or 6 is required for a successful hit roll, irrespective of the firing model's ballistic skill or any modifiers. As they point out themselves, as if charging a Tau gun line wasn't already daunting enough. It's worth pointing out that for the Greater Good, as it stands in the index, a unit with this ability that was in 6 inches of one of the charging unit's targets may fire Overwatch as if they were also targeted. A unit that does so cannot fire Overwatch again this turn. Now that might change. That may be different in the Codex than it is in the index. Right now, don't know. But I mean, it makes charging them even worse, which is very fitting for Tau, but not necessarily good news for anyone else. Although, having said that, I feel like it's kind of similar in a way to how For the Greater Good already was, provided it stays the same or isn't tweaked too heavily. There's like a risk-reward thing, isn't there, where you can fire that squad off, but then if they get charged, they cannot fire Overwatch themselves at whatever's charging them. So there's still a bit of a risk-reward thing going on, but it is kind of nasty, and to be honest, what you'd expect from charging a gun line. So the irrespective of the firing model's ballistic skill or any modifiers is interesting. So it looks like a 5 or 6 is what you're going to get from the Tau Sept in terms of firing Overwatch or using For the Greater Good. You're not going to be able to improve that to like a 4 or a 3. It just seems to be a 5 or a 6. Whether there would be anything in there that would allow for that, I don't know, but this is now excluding it from that anyway, so in a way, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's have a look at the Hammerhead Gunships and Long Strike. I mean, I don't know that... I love stuff like this. If you're using a Hammerhead Gunships, we'd recommend taking 3 in a Spearhead detachment with Long Strike at their head. It pretty much, if there is a character that goes in a tank, it is recommended that you use it by Games Workshop, obviously. As well as providing additional bonuses to hit for these units, this legendary tank case has been enhanced to benefit more from MacLeod than his fellow Tau, allowing you to make the most of yours. XV02 Battlesuit. Long Strike's gunship treats the number of MacLeod counters on an enemy unit affected by the MacLeod's ability as being 1 higher. I quite like that, to be honest. I do like that. I kind of want to see more tanks for Tau. On the one hand, yeah, big metal, big mech suits are quality, and I do like them, no matter how anime they might be. But there's something about the Tau as a whole where it's always been a little bit, not disappointing, but I would have preferred to see more in the way of tank variants and aircraft variants than them just kind of going, let's just build a bigger mech suit. I don't know, I kind of feel like it'd be nice to see more in the way of actual tanks for Tau than just keep stacking up suits until you reach ridiculous levels. That's just a personal thing, and if affecting Markolites as being one higher will get people to field more tanks, then I'm kind of in favour of that, because it's always struck me as being an interesting side to them that doesn't really get that much attention, I guess. I mean, there's a stage, I don't think it's still a stage, given how often I see lists for commander spam, and that's about it, especially for tournaments, but there's only so many Riptides you can see before you're like, could we chill out with the battle suits and maybe have something a bit different? That might encourage something a bit different. So again, though, that is entirely subjective and entirely personal. You might be like, shut the hell up, we love the mech suits. To each their own, that's fine. Also, I don't have a Tau army, so just take my word for nothing, basically, when it comes to that sort of thing. Although if I did, it would be full of tanks. Okay, Tau breaches. So we have a couple of stratagems here. Breach and clear. Breacher teams excel at clearing enemy-held structures with blinding photon grenades and disciplined bursts of pulse fire. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase before a breacher team from your army shoots at an enemy unit that is receiving the benefit of cover. The breacher team re-rolls failed wound rolls against the enemy unit until the end of this phase. I do like that. I do like that. That's cool. That's funky. Yeah, actually doing re-rolls for failed wound rolls instead of just adding one or something. I think I prefer that, and it very much lives up to what breaches are supposed to be. So, and for one command point, I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's bad, to be honest. If you've got someone hunkered down in cover, then re-rolling failed wound rolls is not bad at all. The only thing that gets me is maybe a bonus to like rolls to hit might be more effective, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I like it, but I feel like it would be nice if there was something to improve accuracy for the hits rather than the wounds. I would imagine that there'll be any number of people who would disagree with me on that, but you know, that's fine. That's okay. Okay, and 3 command points. Focused fire. Oh, actually, worth pointing out, yeah, so that's just a Tau Empire stratagem, so that's for all of them, the breach and clear one, and focused fire, which is 3 command points, is a Tau Sept stratagem, so it only applies to the Tau Sept, it doesn't apply to the other Septs. Tau Sept doctrine heavily emphasises the massed concentration of fire upon a single target at a time, obliterating each component of the enemy force in succession, with a series of unrelenting barrages. Good grief. Use this stratagem after a Tau Sept unit from your army inflicts an unsaved wound on an enemy unit in the shooting phase. You can add 1 to wound rolls for any other Tau Sept units from your army that target the same enemy units this phase. Oh, I do like that. Oh, I like that a lot, actually. I'm trying to remember if we've seen that specific thing before, because we are now obviously at a point where all of this stuff is kind of by necessity having to be recycled, which is fair. There's a lot of armies and there's only so many things you can do in terms of stratagems and traits. That's the word I was looking for at the start. But I really like the flavour aspect of just piling on, just being like, see that guy? Fuck that guy. And everyone just unleashing. That's good. I like that. I do like that. And adding 1 to wound rolls again. I think for that one, I think wound rolls makes more sense. Breach and clear, I do like it, but for some reason I feel like it should be hit rolls. But then again, would that just be too strong? If it was like adding to hit rolls against units in cover, or re-rolling hit rolls against units in cover, would that be too good for 1 command point? I think it might be. I think that's probably where that's come from, where it's a case of wound rolls, getting a reroll on that is good, but I think that's probably 1 command point good. Getting rerolls on hits against units in cover is pretty massive, and it would probably have to be more expensive. Now I've thought that through sort of out loud, it makes more sense, and I'm okay with it. To be honest, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of these play out. I'm especially curious to see how the rest of the Tenets work. it's kind of a weird time, I feel like, for the Tau, because this codex is going to have a lot of development in it. It's going to have a lot of change in terms of the size of the Empire and the different fighting forces within it. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what the rest of them are. There are some leaks out there which I meant to cover, and then we had the Admech versus Necron box yesterday, which is like, holy shit, this is real, this is amazing, which we'll try and take a look at later, because then we can just compare as to whether it's accurate in terms of the Tenets especially, which are one of the things I'm most interested in. But yeah, I think it's a decent start. It's a decent start. I'm liking some of this stuff. Well, that's not fair. I'm liking all of it. It's going to be, yeah, interesting to see what the others have got. Okay, are you a Tau player? Are you looking forward to the Tau Codex? Does this stuff look okay? Is it matching up with what the leaks have said so far? Yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments below. I like it. I like it when it's something I'm not 100% familiar with, because it has an added element of, I guess, kind of discovering something, I guess. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be, well, hopefully it's going to be good. And if it's bad, to be honest, it doesn't matter that much, because I'm still not going to have a Tau army, but at least it'd be fun to examine. Thank you very much for watching. There's the usual array of links to click in front of you, a couple of videos, Patreon, subscribe, all of that stuff. Click if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And I will see you for the next video. Toodaloo.